Furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first point of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office, Osu Akwaje, or our office near the Osu Stadium. We're also in Tema Community 1, opposite Olam SHF, Kumasi KNUST Campus, UCC Cape Coast, and now at the Marina Mall, Airport City, or call us 0302 764101, 764209, or 762792. Visit our website www.kingdomgh.com.
M&C Group is a leading investment holding company with expertise in minerals and food commodity trading, precious minerals refinery, real estate development, and logistics and energy. With individually registered companies, our headquarters is located in Accra, Ghana, with operational offices in Dubai, UAE, Hong Kong, and Guangzhou in China, Johannesburg in South Africa, Virginia in the USA, and Milan, Italy. We connect business markets and drive growth. Trust us to maximize value in every deal. Call us on 0302 551 917 or 0302 551 918, or send us an email mncgroup@mncgroupgh.com. MNC Group, totally reliant.
Brush your teeth every day and night, up and down and all around. Brush the clean and bright. Brush your teeth. Brush with mom and dad. Underneath and in between, brush the germs away.
Pepsodent, cavity protection.
This advert is FDA approved.
Sasso, tonton preco. Sasso, mi se fume tonton preco. Edana tua minha museshe. Yeah, how can see I my baby? Minha me corne me sasso spray. Every mosquito study run away. Tonton preco. Sasso, mi se fume tonton preco. Tonton preco. Sasso, kum tonton preco. Nani shamne die demonstronko.
This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back to Ghana Connect Radio on Joy 99.7 FM. And on Wednesday, John Dramani Mahama marked exactly 4 months since he ascended back to the presidency. 120 days in office. And he, breaking from the past, did actually put together what he called a social contract with the Ghanaian people. 120 days and 25 promises that he promised that he was going to achieve them. John Dramani Mahama claims he has achieved all of that. In fact, here at Joy FM, when we did our scorecard, we rated him 52% in terms of the completion. There are about some 28% of the other promises that are still in progress of implementation, while there are about 20% which haven't been touched at all. Imani gave him 50%. The NPP says he's done way less than that. But John Dramani Mahama believed he has actually achieved all of the promises he did undertake with the Ghanaian people going into the 2024 general election.
Day promises regarding overall tax reform. Disbursement to support needy patients will begin once the governing board is put in place. The draft Ghana Medical Trust Fund bill is ready. Procurement is ongoing for over 6 million sanitary pads, with each student receiving 3 packets per term. And pleased to report to you that we have fulfilled these promises, from forming a lean government and establishing a robust code of conduct to taking decisive action to scrap burdensome taxes, initiating inquiries into past wrongdoings.
5 are in progress to the extent that what you need to bring it to finality lies in the hands of other agencies that you don't necessarily control.
On all the promises, because apart from 2, he's touched on every one of them, and 50% of them he's been able to fully implement, which is good progress. However, the initiatives that he's implementing, most of them are not laying the right foundations to address the structural challenges in the various sectors that they are implementing.
Marked his own scripts, a script that the questions were set by him, and after that he gave himself a mark.
For you, they say that John Dramani Mahama just set his own script and marked them. But today, we are handing the microphone back to you, the Ghanaian people. What is your verdict? It is with you that John Dramani Mahama went into this social contract. What are your own views as to his performance in the last 120 days of governance? Connecting with us on this very important matter, William Eskin Awochi is headmaster of St. Anthony Catholic Basic School in Elmina. Headmaster, it's good to have you connect with us. If you can unmute.
Hello, good evening.
And connecting with me in studio, Prince Kumar, student at the University of Ghana. Prince, it's good to have you connect with us.
Yeah.
Rose Blankson is also an assistant UCC registrar, and she's connected with us on Zoom as well. Madam Rose, it's good to have you connect with you again on Ghana Connect. Hello, Madam Rose. Can you please unmute?
Just a minute.
Right, we'll get to that pretty shortly. And Dr. George Anagli will also connect with us.
Yes.
And then Mr. Ishak Umar is a CEO of Top Star Shipping, and he's also a businessman connecting with us. Mr. Ishak, it's good to have you connect with us.
Yeah, good to have you too.
Great. So we have people from all over. We have a headmaster of a basic school. We have a student. We have an assistant registrar at a public university. We have a doctor of pharmacy, and also we have a businessman who is into shipping. I wonder what he wants to say about the trend with the city currently. So let me start with you, Headmaster Hedi. What is your own assessment? 120 days of John Dramani Mahama.
Thank you, JFM, for having me. And I want to thank you for this opportunity that we want to share our view on the President's 120 days social contract. I'm speaking from Elmina. I'm a head teacher. That's that. Yes, so the National Democratic Congress, led by the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, told us on a various platforms during campaign that within his 120 days, he has some social contracts with Ghanaians, and that if we give him the nod, he is going to make sure he accomplished that. Yes, the 120 days ended last Wednesday, And from that time up to now, people have been speaking on it widely. As the head teacher or headmaster of a basic school, looking at the promises, the manifesto promises, and what he has done within the 120 days, I would say so far so good. At least all the 25 or so promises that he made, we have seen or heard some of them being implemented. So I would say up to now, so far so good. At least I can count per analysis that goes on, I can count about 18 out of 25 of the promises that has been completed or touched on. So I would say it's okay. Let's move on and look forward to implement the rest that I've left. For
Madam
now,
Rose,
this is what I would say. Thank you.
Great. Madam Rose, before we get into some of the specifics, I also want to take your remarks at the start. What you make of 120 days of the new government?
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening to your listeners. I would look at the achievements from a gender perspective. I'm a young people advocate. I'm a woman advocate, and I encourage leaders to give opportunity to the youth, to young people, to women, to also achieve their potentials. And so, apart from the promises, the 25 promises that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama made to the nation in their manifesto, the appointment of women, and not just women, but young women and young men to certain positions of responsibility, to boards, to the deputy CEOs of organizations and departments and all of that. For me, that is impressive. I would also want to say that the removal of the betting tax, though I am not really in support of betting, but removal of that tax was very, very significant. And the mobile money taxes also having it gone off is very significant. So far for me, so good. From a gender perspective, I will look at it, as I said, from the engagement of young people, young women especially, into various positions of responsibilities. Women are being heard now through these people who have been engaged, and young men are also being heard through the people who have been engaged. We haven't reached there yet. We look forward to seeing more women engaged in more responsible positions than we have now. But I think so far, so good.
Right, interesting perspective there. Dr. George Anagli is connecting with us. Doc, the last time you on Ghana Connect was when the finance minister had promised that you guys were going to get your money. And Dr. George Anagli is a doctor of pharmacy, who have actually not been paid their salaries since about 2023 or early 2024 or so. And the finance minister did promise they're going to get their money. I wonder if you've gotten it now, and also what you make of the first 120 days of the government.
You know what? I like the fact that you actually started with my payment issue. I like that. Well, thank you very much. Good evening to the listeners. First of all, with regards to our payment, the health minister made a promise on the 11th of I think that's March, on the floor of Parliament. 11th of April. I reminded him about the fact that we have still not been paid, and then even today is 9th May, we have still also not been paid, right?
Has there been any movement? I mean, normally,
however,
okay.
yes. However, we've had an engagement from the Ministry of Health, right? We've had a few calls from the Ministry of Health, which is a positive sign. But for me as a person, I'm thinking, things are are getting a bit too slow. The money that we've been owed for almost one and a half years now, right? So I mean, if we want to pay us, it should be expedited. But the fact that they have reached out to us is a good sign, and I'm hoping that they expedited the process. Yeah. And then with regards to 120 days of His Excellency the president's, I would say yesterday I think I made a post on X, rating him 8.5, and then talking about the fact that he would have gotten a 10/10 from me if my money was paid or had been paid. Well, so far so good. He's doing well. When we look at the promises he's made, he's doing well. Talking about the Mahama case that he brought, for instance, is one of the initiatives that is very good. And my hope is that we implement it, or he implements it very, very well, because this is a very good initiative. It will help those with chronic diseases, it will help those with the diabetes, cancer, hypertension, and the likes, right? And so it's a good initiative. Another thing that he's done that I would want to mention is the fact that he's removed the e-levy as he promised, and that is a very good step that he's taken. One thing that I must say is about Galamsey. Well, he promised to deal with Galamsey. He's trying, but I would hope that he intensifies the fight against Galamsey. He's on the right course anyways, but I'm hoping that he intensifies the fight. But so far so good. Impactful initiatives. Mahama Cares doing very well. Distributing, starting to try and get free sanitary pads for our ladies. Also very good initiative. And so far so good. He's doing well.
Great. Mr. Ishak, from the businessman's perspective, and you are into shipping, I wonder what you also make. So far, our three other guests have said, well, things aren't bad. So far, so good. I wonder if it's the same for you in the business community.
Yes, thank you very much. From my side, as a businessman, I think so far, so good. Rating him at the point of exchange rates, looking at the happenings with the exchange rates and all that. I think during the beginning of government, his governance, we saw stability in the exchange rates, and the current reduction, the current gains the city is making with the foreign currency, especially with the dollar. I think it's a very good thing for we the businessmen. Personally, I'm enjoying it, and as a businessman in the freight forwarding industry, it will go a long way to help my business if we should enjoy this kind of stability. Apart from we the businessmen enjoying too, it's going to go a long way to help consumers as a whole, because this is going to reduce prices of commodities in the market. At the early stages, we are not going to experience a quick reduction in prices, but I believe in the coming weeks or days ahead of us, we are going to see a very drastic reduction in the prices of goods and then services.
No, but people are wondering. The people are saying that you businessmen are fleecing the Ghanaian people and that they are not seeing real progress on anything. I went to buy some caliper at Abusiokan today. The price is the same as it was 3 months ago. Someone saying that the dollar is down. When the dollar is going up, you don't hesitate to increase the price. But things have stabilized in fact, since 7 January up until now, things have stabilized. And now we've moved from stability to a drastic appreciation of the cedi, 16% since the beginning of April and now. And Bloomberg actually rates the Ghana cedi as the best currency in the world right now. Prices are still standing the same place.
Yes, my brother, you are very right. It is standing because I have goods that I have imported for more than 5 months ago, some even since last year, at a very high dollar rate, 16.2 to some of them. You understand? So the current changes is not even affecting the goods I have in stock. So it will take a longer time for these changes to happen. So
not to cut you, but there are those who make the argument that when the dollar goes up, even before you've depleted your stock, You will increase the price and say, well, it's because when you go back to the market to go and buy a new stock, that is the price at which you get it. Or that does not make any difference here.
No. It doesn't make any difference. It's the same way when the dollar goes high. At the time, you are competing with a lot of people that have imported a lot of goods into the system who also want to sell to the same consumers all of us are selling to. So you couldn't have increased your prices when you have even imported at a higher price. That is when the dollar is going up. It's the same way when it comes down, you might have imported at a very high dollar rate. So you wouldn't have just gone to reduce prices there and then until the new prices take effect. So it will take some time. You get the point.
Great. Okay, let me come in studio and get to know what you also make as a student. 120 days. I mean, you are not covered by the free level 100 policy program and all that, but 100 days. Do you feel like your life has improved, or you quite few things?
All right, Kwaku. I think I'm well impressed within the 120 days because President Mahama entered into a social contract with Ghanaians, right? With the motive of resetting the nation as he promised, revitalizing our economy, essentially to lay a very strong foundation that could propel his job creation, economic stability, and also anti-corruption agenda. And for me, as a speaker currently, he has demonstrated some, I would say, logically compelling gravitas or seriousness to addressing some of the economic challenges he came to meet, not doing, blame games or playing blame games. You're going to score him based on a scorecard. Of course, he promised 25 things. So the question is that how many has he fulfilled? He promised us to, nominate within the first 14 days a complete list of cabinet, which I believe he was able to keep that promise. He also promised to constitute the leanest and most efficient government under this Fourth Republic, which he promised then not to appoint more than 60 ministers. And as we speak, we only have about 56 ministers. He had a promise to hold national economic dialogue, which I believe he did. He promised again to establish robust code of conduct and standards for all government appointees. And we saw him line that, and you have about 66-page documents of that. He then again promised that he's going to, convene a national consultative conference on education. And we saw the sector minister, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, leading that charge across all regional levels. He promised again to, scrap some draconian or obnoxious taxes, right? And we saw him abolishing or scrapping e-levy and the 10% betting tax. He promised again of, introducing or implementing the no academic fees. As a student, the time the budget was read, it was read on March 11. At the time, most of the level 100s has reported. So you don't expect the government to have done the allocation then. Now he said, according to the finance minister, they have allocated 499.8 million, approximately 500 million to cater for that, which today students have been asked to go to the Student Loan Trust Fund website to just key in their details and then to be paid. I think I want to use this medium to put this info out. People, because of the website, are saying that it's now a loan. It's not a loan. Government has explained that they are only using that website because they already have the disbursement platform. So there's no need for you to go and use a different system of doing that. He then again promised to implement the free tertiary for people with disability, and the allocation has been done. I believe they'll be reimbursed. He then again promised to launch the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, which will provide funding support for people suffering from chronic diseases, and he's been able to do that. He promised again to provide sanitary pad for girls in the primary, the JHS, and the secondary level of higher education, and he's been able to locate 292.4 million Ghana cedis to that effect. Then again, he promised of launching the Black Star experience. We saw him launch that not too long ago. For me, he's been able to keep most of his promises, and he has started some of them. As the government has explained, finality of some of the policies or completion of them is not tied to the government alone, but some of the institutions which government does not necessarily have absolute control over.
And I see the point you make, because it's actually the same point Felix makes, that part of the reason why some of those policies, for instance, which we have flagged as having not been achieved, is because they have to go to, for instance, Parliament, and Parliament is currently on break and all that. Please hold it there for me. And because you delve into education, I want to do a little bit of education because we have a headmaster, we have a registrar from a university and all that. Headmaster, you look at the situation with senior high school coming into capitation of grants and all that. What has been the improvement so far? Have you heard anything from government? Do you have any assurances about how payments will be made? Under the last government, there were a couple of delays. Headmasters, they complained about how they were struggling to manage school. And you were headmaster of a basic school. What is the state of the capitation grants that you get paid? But also generally, have you seen any movement from the government that shows you that education may be getting something better?
Okay, thank you very much once again. Yes, with regards to before the last administration ended, they were owing the schools about 2 years in arrears, and it was searching into the accounts, and those we realized that some amounts were paid late last year. To something has been given to schools, but they are scanty. They are not enough. Looking very important, and that is the basic, the foundation of all the tertiary education. If a child goes, it depends on the.
It appears we have a little bit of bad connection to the headmaster. We will try and get him back on a better line now. Mr. William Eskan was talking to us about the developments in the education sector. Let me go to Madam Rose Blankson, and you manage a public tertiary institution. In the last few weeks, the minister has been swearing in the governing councils and the boards and all that. I know UCC, for instance, you have Professor Justice William Atugua retired, the retired Supreme Court judge, now chairing your university council and all that. Same question I was asking Mr. Otri. Have you seen any movement that shows you that there's some quality education, governance, and policy making coming in?
Yes, as I was saying, yes. Hello.
So you're live on air.
Yeah, so who is speaking now? Is it Rose?
Yes, Madam Rose, we are listening to you.
Okay, so William, the University Council was inaugurated just last Monday. And so if I say I'm seeing movements and all of that, I think that would be too hasty a conclusion to draw. The university is autonomous. So, yes, we somehow depend on government subvention. But having sworn in council less than a month into that will be too hasty for me to draw any analysis as to whether comparatively things are better or not. So I would rather we don't go into that, because that would be very unfair comparison to make. But I think that the 120 days, as I mentioned earlier, a lot have been achieved. I am not going to rate per scoring, and I'm not going to give any rating percentage achievement and all of that, because it will be difficult for me to do that. But a lot is happening. For example, the government of NDC promised a lean government, and as we speak, the ministerial appointments, they don't even have up to 60. I noticed that the opposition was pushing for 60 or more. If the president feels he cannot appoint up to the 60 he promised, then he should go higher. But for me, that is, he has decided that he wants to use a lean government, and he's keeping to his promise, 56. That's good. There is this issue as a gender person that I'm also very much worried about. That is in the first 120 days. Madam Gertrude Isaba Saki, Arabe Isaba Saki's case. Initially, I have had a press conference where I have appealed to the President, His Excellency, to reconsider the petition and not to, have him removed from office. But honestly, the posture of opposition and the demonstration and all of that worries me. And I'm sure it worries a lot of women who really mean well for Chief Justice Arabe Saba Saki Tokunu, because this is a Chief Justice, not a political activist, not a partisan person. And so if you have the opposition going on demonstration and sending petitions and all of that, it makes her case a bit murky, and it worries those of us who are advocating for more empowerment for women. And so I would want to use this opportunity to indicate that the NPP, led by my own brother, my own parliamentarian, Honorable Alex Atenyomakin, Esquire, to allow the lady to be seen as a statesperson and not a politician, as they are projecting her to be. I think that's my take for now.
You mentioned you made mention of the 60 ministers. Now Mahama has 56 ministers. George, are you surprised that? And I'm going to George now. John Mahama has been governing 120 days with 56 ministers. At some point in this country, we had 156. We had 126. That was under President Akufo-Addo, especially under the first term. And now we have 56. John Mahama promised 60. He has not even hit the 60 yet. Are you surprised that things are quite moving? The ministries are running well. We've had to scrap a couple of ministries. Others are standalone and they are working still.
No, you see, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. You see, in pharmacy, there's something.
For instance, even now, your sector, health, you don't have a deputy minister, but the ministry is going.
Yes, he's doing well, and the health minister is doing well. You know, in pharmacy, there's something we try to fight against. We call it polypharmacy. What we do is that we try as much as possible to give the patient the best outcome with the least number of medications, and that is exactly the principle the president is using, right? He's giving us the best, form of governance with the least number of ministers, and that's laudable. We are saving some monies here and there, and then we are getting the results. So I'm not surprised. He's doing well. I'm not surprised. Yeah.
Now let's talk about the dollar and the economy, because the economy cuts across. There are teachers here, there are businessmen, there are students. The economy cuts across. I'm a journalist. I felt the economy today when I went to buy some parts my car today, and I felt it. I really felt it. It went into my bones. Because as for the economy, it affects all of us. And the economy is almost synonymous with your currency. Of course, the economy has so many other legs. The currency is so important. And in the last few weeks, we've had stability. Today, the Bank of Ghana posted a rate of the dollar to the cedi at 13.19. At the last Monday, it was around 14, and Friday is 13.1. If the trend continues, by Monday, we'll perhaps hit 12. And I wanted to get to 5 so that I can order my Benz GLE. But I wonder, Mr. Ishak, for you in the business community, do you get a sense that this is really some good work going on, or this is some artificial? When you talk to your colleagues, do you feel like this will continue to improve, or you are jittery that, listen, you have to be careful, because if not, the next month or two, things could get bad again?
Yes, I have a firm belief in the leadership of Ghana when it comes to the economy. I'm not skeptic about it at all. I'm very, very confident that this is going to continue. But of course, we are businessmen, and we can't throw our hands in despair. We just have to be very careful in our planning and all that. And knowing the Ghana we find ourselves, sometimes it gets good, sometimes. And there are a lot of volatilities in economy, in any economy at all. Somebody can take decisions somewhere, and then it will affect all of us. You understand? So it means that we have to be very careful and plan very well. But I'm very confident in the leadership of the economy.
George, I wonder what you also make about the economic situation. You talked about the betting tax and other things that are gone. The economic situation seems to have quite stabilized.
Yes. I think the one very important part that everybody is trying to forget or no one is talking about is the prices of drugs or medications. You know, when the CD is doing very well against the dollar, it means that it will invariably trickle down into the prices of drugs, and that is very good, right? The normal Ghanaian or the normal citizen will be able to walk into pharmacies, will be able to go to the hospital and purchase medications without a sweat, you see. So this one is something that we need to, I'm just praying that this trend continues. And I mean, they're able to sustain this kind of growth against the dollar so that, I mean, as you said, I want even it to come down to 5 cedi so that we can buy the Benz and all that. So that, I mean, our parents, our grandparents, our fathers will be able to buy their medications without, I mean, breaking the bank.
Prince,
yeah.
What were your thoughts on the CD and how things are quite stabilizing on the economic front?
I'm happy because I do take some courses on Coursera. You have to pay in dollars and all. So when the dollar is coming down, it's affecting everybody, just like you said. But I think that I've seen the Honorable Minister for Finance admonishing or urging Guta to talk to traders to make sure that Ghanaians are able to feel the impact. What's coming in? I saw on Joy News, actually, I think Food and Beverage Association of Ghana saying that they reduced sugar by 7%, rice and all that. Just that other traders in the value chain line or value chain have not complied with that. I'm happy that it's been stabilized. I've also heard argument of US-China trade war coming in. I don't think it's good because the Nigeria Naira actually depreciated somewhere 24th. You know, you mentioned about starting from April. 24th, it depreciated, started appreciating from 25th up onto May 2. May 2 further depreciated to 1,602. On May 5, further depreciated again to 1,605.6. May 6, it went to 1,607.6. On May 8, it went to 1,608. Yesterday, 1,609. Today, 1,609. Sorry, yesterday, 1,609. Today, 1,609. So the Naira keep depreciating against the dollar. Why the CD appreciating means that the government is doing something good, and they have
you don't buy the arguments that others have made that it's because the dollar itself is not very strong because of the Trump era policies.
I just used Nigeria, citing an anglophone country, but I didn't want to use a francophone country to draw in France and all that. I used an anglophone country whose currency has started depreciating from May 2 up until date. The Naira is still today at 1,609.6 to the dollar. It keeps depreciating. So why is the CD appreciating? Means that the government of Ghana is doing something good. And what I want them to continue to do is to make sure that the CD continue appreciating. For the traders, I somewhat agree with them because you want to build some trust. You cannot just reduce it like that. What if it goes up again? You went to buy Calipo. Imagine you go the next day, they tell you that, oh, it has gone up. The next day, you go there, it has come down. All because the dollar came to 13, went back to 14. So it may take some time for them to actually, fully put their trust in the CD appreciating. But for now, let's give them maybe some 1 month and see how the trend will go. But because it showed that this trend continue, I want to believe you can buy your Benz, GLE because should that continue, I'm expecting maybe to hit somewhere 8 at the end of this year.
Because I even saw one car dealer on X who actually posted how much they were paying to clear a vehicle and how much they're able to do so now. It's reduced quite. Mr. Otri, out of the way of you being a headmaster, you are also a Ghanaian, you go to the market, you buy stuff. We're talking about the dollar and the economy. I wonder how the economy is treating you now. Is it much better compared to when John Dramani Mahama took over? And have things reduced from, because the concern around the table is that prices still haven't gone down despite the very strong performance of the city and the economy generally, the economic indicators.
Yeah, I think that that is we're saying the economy, the dollar, and stuff like something of that sort. But I know I buy things from the market before and now. I believe that yes, the things that we've been buying from the market have not gone down, but at least it has been stable for a while now. So from January up to now, the things I was going to buy, now I can still say that, oh, the money that I used in buying some items in January could use the same thing in buying things in May. So at least I can budget and say, yes, I used this such an amount, A amount, and now it is the same A amount I can use. Gone are the days when before even a week or two going to the market, you need to add, if not 50%, 100% of the things that you're going to buy. And in education that I was going to talk about in the earlier stage, you realize that the government of the NDC are trying to reform education. The government has initiated a curriculum review from kindergarten to basic 6, focusing on strengthening national values like honesty, respect, and civic responsibility. In it, the honesty here is what I'm going to talk about. That when you are buying things, we have other things that we buy from the market. We have students who buy from canteens and those things. Yes, the child will be able to understand that, yes, the money I'm going to use would be able to take care of my needs. Again, we have the government here has inaugurated a committee, the Ministry of Education inaugurated a 7-member committee to look into this. As we speak now, teachers who are on deputy director, gone are the days, can be on the same rank for about, or stay on the same rank for about 3, 4, 5 years. The government is saying that no, if a teacher reaches deputy director and is going, because there are no desks, there are no offices for him to go as a director and those things, he should be given the directorship and be in the classroom. So he realized that the teacher in the classroom has the amount of money.
Hello, Mr. Ochi. It appears I'm
now
not.
At the
Okay.
school.
Yeah, Mr. Ochi, I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Yes, I can hear you.
Please go ahead and make your point.
So,
we lost you.
So now, whether to look after the family, buy his 1 or 2 things that is needed for his work as a professional teacher. So kudos on that aspect too. Now you realize that the government in this case, talking about reviewing the education system, has given free sanitary pads to girls in the school. This one, it has taken the burden of a parent who cannot afford a pad given to the child. I realize Madam Bruce is on this platform. I will take this opportunity to thank her very much, and Professor Dora Dubuando, who came to my school and donated sanitary pads to my students. Because after that, if we didn't get those sanitary pads, a child cannot afford it. So that says a lot to that child who cannot afford by the parent. So I believe that all these things we are talking about, the government, if he will continue, my problem is if he will continue, sustainability is the problem here. So if it will not be just a political talk, because they've come in 120 days, they want to distribute so that they will fulfill their promises, and it will continue. I believe that the living standard, living condition, vis-a-vis dollar used to buy all these things, if stable, education will be a better place, and our children will have a future.
Madam Rose, I wonder what you also say about the economy, and I'm sure you want to say something about this sanitary pad issue. And you heard Mr. Awochi talk about how you came to the school with another and how you made some donations. I want to hear you on the economy, but also this free sanitary pad thing.
Yes, I have always said that our issue of economic hardship a lot of the time stem from our traders, and they are mostly the corporates. Yes, dollar rates go high, the exchange rates go high, and all of that. But sometimes our traders are also corporates. They swell prices, dollar rates go up. They say the dollar is fluctuating, and when it goes high, they increase prices. But when it comes down, no one reduces prices. I've never gone to the market and seen anyone or any supermarket where prices have come down because dollar rates have come down. They either stay the same or they always go up. As we speak, cement prices have gone up. There is no way it will come down when the dollar goes down. We've heard fuel prices have gone down by some few marginal percentages. So, yes, the dollar is going down, but honestly, we don't spend the dollar here. And the average Ghanaian who goes to the market to shop with cedis suffers, no matter how low the dollar comes. When dollar comes down, it's only the importers and all of that. And when the importer gives it to the, as Guta has directed that some beverages or something prices should go down. It's not in the market like that. They are selling this at the Rita 2 Kalabule price. And we buy. If you won't buy, where are you going to buy it from? They are the ones selling at the market. And that's where you have to shop. Yes, prices have stabilized for some time now. But is it going to be the same? If it's well, beautiful. If not, as for the sanitary pad, in fact, it was a campaign promised by Her Excellency Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, the Vice President. And during, I think, the 2016 campaign, she was very passionate about it. And I'm happy, very happy, extremely so, that the current government has ensured that this has seen the light of day. And as Mr. Eskin, I would just say, I pray that this is sustained, because if I do, the Ghana Association of Industry Women, UCC chapter, we supply sanitary towels during International Menstrual Hygiene Day. And I always ask myself, on that day when we give out these sanitary towels, after the celebration, the girls menstruate a minimum of 10 times within the year. Apart from that month, we give them sanitary towels. What happens? Dora Edubuada Foundation, led by Professor Dora Francisca Edubuado, the Pro-Vice Chancellor, past Pro-Vice Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, also led us to donate sanitary towels, not only to St. Anthony School in Atonkwa, Elmina, but other parts of Cape Coast and the central region. And this also positively impacted the young ladies. And so with this introduction of the sanitary towel, for us, it's a burden that has been taken off our shoulders. And these monies that we channel into some of these things, we are not the only people who do this. People who do sanitary pad donation and all that, I'm sure will channel the finances into other profitable ventures so that other people will benefit. For me, I haven't seen much change in the economy in terms of the market prices and all that. But I'm looking forward to the economy stabilizing as market prices stabilize. If I bought rice, a bag of Abina or Kwabena rice for 98 Ghana cedis yesterday, if I go to the market July 7th, I should be able to buy Abina or Kwabena rice at 98 Ghana cedis. That's all I am looking forward to.
I mean, the kind of stability that makes sense for the pocket. I see that point, and I think a lot of our audience will also agree. 120 days was on Wednesday. Today is the 122nd day, and John Mahama has 1,339 more days to wrap it all up in 4 years. I wonder all of you around the table, what your message to him? What are your expectations for the next 1,339 days? 120 is just a fraction of all that he has to do. Let me start with you, George. In the next 1,300 days that is left, 1,339 to be specific, what are your expectations?
Yes. So, for me, the number one thing is please pay us. His Excellency, kindly pay us the monies that we are owed, right? And the other thing is that let's continue, or let's try and sustain this performance with regards to the CD against the dollar. Let's try and, as much as possible, to sustain it, and then in the long term, it can affect the pockets of every Ghanaian. Yeah. So basically, these two things that I'll put across.
As for your payment, it's very important, and I wonder why anybody would put somebody to work for 1.5 years and not pay them. I don't even get it. You and your ministers, MPs, they earn their salaries. No,
can imagine.
I report from Parliament. No MP gets elected and goes to Parliament, or a minister, and they have to wait 1.5 years to get their legitimate salary. It just doesn't make any sense. And I hope that Dr. Atoforsen and the health minister will follow up to the promise they made you and pay you. Mr. Ishak, business. 20 days gone, but there are more days ahead. Your expectations and what you think the government should be doing.
Yes, as a businessman, my primary expectation is to have some stability like I'm enjoying now in the economy. Once I have stable exchange rates, I can plan very well for the rest of the 1,300 days that you are talking about. And it will bring more money in the business, put more money in our pockets, and everybody will go a long way to enjoy. Prices will come down, businesses will flourish, and a lot of investors will come down into the economy. But I believe so far so good. President Mahama is doing good, and his ministers are doing very well. So we are hoping for the best.
Yeah. Mr. Awatri, your expectations for the next 1,339 days that John Dramani Mahama has in his 4 years, and your message to him.
Yes. Yeah, so at the end of the 4 years, I'm expecting that, number one, education will continue to be free for all, especially strengthening the basic education. We are lacking a lot of things in terms of infrastructure, in terms of curriculum development, in terms of teacher support. But teachers, we are suffering. And so I want my excellency that at the end of these 4 years, teachers will be better off. At least a teacher can own the car that my friend wants to buy. As of now, I cannot afford it, looking at the scanty salary and having. So by the end of these 4 years, I want the education sector to be on top. Parents will be satisfied whatever that they are going through in the schools with their children. Teachers will be satisfied to teach wherever that he or she will be posted to, so that the foundation of education and foundation of Ghana will grow. Thank you.
Great. Madam Rose, let me take that word from you before I come to the studio.
Well, I would appeal to His Excellency, the President, and his team to ensure that the economy is stable. We wouldn't want to see the fluctuation that we saw in the past administration. Even if it would be, it shouldn't be as significant as it was. Toyota Vitz, when it came and it was being used for Uber and Bolt, was between 26,000 and 30,000. And within the 3 years, it has skyrocketed to over 70,000. Wow. So if even a car like Toyota Vitz is 70,000, then the average Ghanaian would have to continue riding in shortfall. So the taxes, the needless taxes that have been placed on items, certain imported goods into the country, should be taken off. We expect that to be taken off, and it should be off so that we can enjoy our lives as citizens. The government has reviewed the public workers' salaries, but it wasn't enough. If this would be okay for us, then it will also depend on the stability of the economy, so that if the money I earn today, if it can buy me 3 sachets of Milo, 1 bag of rice, and a bottle or gallon of oil, in 3-4 months, I should be able to buy same so that I would know that my finances are stable. And if that happens in the next I'll say 3 years and 4 months that we have ahead of us, I think everyone will be happy and we'll all be proud to be called Ghanaians.
Prince,
Thank you.
Right, Prince, let me come to you and let me end with you.
All right. So I want to see massive employment. GSS reported about 1.9 million Ghanaian youths are without education, employment, or training. So I want to see more training. I want to see more employment, and I want to see the government prosecuting, corrupt officials, be it in past governments or current government. I want to see government, genuinely pursuing them and making sure that monies are retrieved to the state. I want to see massive investment in our educational sector. More correctly with infrastructure, eliminating schools under trees, and also making sure there's stability when it comes to the dollar. And I want to see more press freedom. When I was coming, I saw the advocacy Joy is doing, and I think it's very good. That government will not use, security agencies to attack the media.
Thank you very much, and it's been an enlightening conversation where people from all shades of the Ghanaian society. Mr. William Eskin Awotwe, Headmaster St. Anthony Catholic Basic School, Elmina. Thank you very much, Headmaster, for bringing your perspectives to this conversation. Thank you very much. Prince Kumar, I just heard him there, a student at the University of Ghana. Thank you very much for coming. Rose Blankson, UCC Assistant Registrar. Madam, it's a delight always to have you on Ghana Connect. Thank you very much. Mr. Ishak Umar, CEO of Top Star Shipping, thank you very much for coming. We expect that the prices will go down. And then Dr. George Anagli, Doctor of Pharmacy, thank you very much. I hope the next time you are back on this show, you have some good news and that the government would have paid you your money. My name is Kwaku Asante and this has been Ghana Connect. Thank you all for listening, and happy birthday to all of you celebrating today, in particular Prisla Piawa. Thank you for sending your messages in, and we wish you a very, very happy birthday, that you have a great one today. And also to Eric Bill. Well, that's my car electrician at Asalam Down, one of the best in the business. Eric Bill, Masabi, it's good to have you always listening to the show. So up next, Andy Dusty with the library. I'll be back same time with you next week right here on Ghana Connect. But until then, have a great weekend.